Olympics, it's called women's gymnastics. More than 50 million Americans will tune in to watch them next summer. But in truth, as Leslie Stoll notes, it's girls' gymnastics, and the girls are getting younger and younger. Dominique Moceanu, 4'5", 70 pounds, won the national championships last month, and she was just 13. It's no surprise that her coach is the legendary Bella Caroli. Dominique is one of about 100 girls in that elite circle of gymnastics who are competing for just 7 slots on the Olympic team.
What Dominique wants more than anything in the world is to be a winner like Mary Lou Retton, who was also coached by Caroli. With her 2 perfect 10s at the 1984 Olympics, she not only won gold medals, she got to be on the Wheaties box. She became every little gymnast's dream. Christy Phillips thought she was going to be another Mary Lou. When she was just 8 years old, she left home to train with the best coaches, and she soon landed at Bella Caroli's. By the time she was 14, she was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and she was Caroli's shining star.
What happened when you were 15? Didn't you start to develop
Yes.
the sin of all sins?
The sin of all sins for gymnasts. I started to become a woman.
Uh-oh.
And, yeah.
How did Bella Caroli deal with that?
That's when things got really rough for me.
Was that when he started to call you the Christmas turkey and fat and...
Yes, ma'am.
Fat because you gained, how much do you weigh by then? He's
Like 98. This is when it all started. But before then I was like 88.
The sport all but forces these child stars to be obsessive about their weight. According to the U.S. Olympic Committee, back in 1976, the average American gymnast was 17 and a half years old, 5'3", and weighed 106 pounds. By 1992, the average had dropped to 16, 4'9", and just 83 pounds.
I was on a starvation diet. Basically, I ate like less than 500 to 600 calories a day, training 6 to 9 hours. But I lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks, and I had no energy, but at the same time, for me, that's what it took to make it.
So then the Olympic trials happened. And?
I missed the Olympic team by .003.
Here's what you said about that time. All of a sudden, bam, it's over. We're through, and we're stuck with all the bad memories. All we can think about is I'm never going to make it in life because I'm going to be fat.
Yes.
That's what you were left with.
That's what I can honestly say, yes, I believe that I was left with that. But it's not...
You were left with a feeling that all that was left of your life was an opportunity to gain weight. That was it.
That's exactly right.
And that's when she became bulimic, and then suicidal. Eventually, she was hospitalized for treatment.
Are you cured?
I wouldn't say that I'm 100% cured, and I don't think I ever will be 100% cured. I think it's something that I will continue to battle with the rest of my life.
Christy's teammate, Christy Henrich, wasn't as lucky. She lost her battle with anorexia and died in 1994, 5 years after leaving gymnastics. These are hardly the only girls in the sport who have suffered. In fact, San Francisco Chronicle sports reporter Joan Ryan says that most of the gymnasts trying to get to the Olympics have endured everything from emotional to physical mistreatment. Ryan got so caught up in the story, she wrote a book about it.
You seem to suggest that the training and the rigors of what these young girls go through is tantamount to child abuse.
Oh, absolutely. When you go to some of these gyms and watch what these coaches put these girls through, they're training through injuries because they're in a race against time. They can't afford the time off to let their injuries heal. The psychological abuse that these girls go through, the names that they're called, they're made to feel worthless. They leave these sports feeling like failures, and that follows them for a long time.
It's not just Joan Ryan saying this. Several studies of gymnasts have found that about 60% had suffered from some form of disordered eating, anything from taking laxatives and diet pills to anorexia. And it's well known that these gymnasts often compete with injuries, including stress fractures.
After years of looking the other way, USA Gymnastics, the federation that governs the sport, has finally set up a task force to study eating disorders and the other alleged abuses. But the charge has been made that the federation has been protecting the coaches and not the girls. Kathy Scanlon is president of USA Gymnastics.
That's not the purpose of USA Gymnastics, and it's not what we're about.
Let's say tomorrow you find out that one of these coaches, not any one particular, is running around calling one of his girls an overstuffed turkey because she gained 2 pounds. What can this federation do?
Really what we can do is talk to him.
That's about it.
And that's about it.
So what does Bella Caroli say about all these charges? He declined our request for an interview.
Who you are?
I'm Leslie Stahl.
Yes, I
60 Minutes.
Oh, great. How you been doing?
I've been doing great. How have you been doing?
I'm fine.
Can we
Remember,
talk to you
he's the
about-
coach who created the first perfect gymnast, Romania's Nadia Comaneci. Then he came to America and revolutionized the sport here with Mary Lou Retton.
I don't want you to be part of this program. You gave me the right to be part of it or not? So
Well, but
thank
we're
you very
already
much.
taking your
Oh.
picture.
Not only did Caroli refuse to answer the charges, but USA Gymnastics even barred us from covering the national championships in New Orleans, where his little star, Mociano, competed. We found Caroli at his hotel.
What about these charges
Thank you very much,
that
ma'am.
these girls all have?
Ma'am.
Eating disorders?
Well, you know, as the girls when they have these disorders,
I did
you
ask the
already
girls.
get collected a lot of. We are having much more important things I know to concentrate
What-
than eating disorder and all the garbage. But you are getting around, and we're trying, to make a publicity to a show which has no valid basis to do it.
You can criticize Bella Caroli, but he is the only coach in the U.S. who has created 2 Olympic all-round gold medal winners. So you have to ask, is what critics call his abusive training what it takes to be the best?
I wouldn't call it abuse.
You wouldn't
There
call
was
it
a
abuse.
time when I would call it abuse. But as I can look back, he was making me to what he thought was going to be the best gymnast.
You don't think you would have become the best gymnast without his demeaning you and humiliating you and degrading you?
I don't think I would have, because that wouldn't have given me the motivation to keep going to prove him wrong.
Does this man have zero heart about these girls?
Well, in his mind, he does. In his mind, he really cares about these girls. During my 3 or 4 hour interview for my book with him, I was so blown away. I was ready to go out and do a flip on the balancing for him. And he was so, I understood why these girls would run through walls for him. I understood why the parents would be so sucked in by this charm and charisma that they would say, take my child, make her a champion. I could see it.
Beginning in the year 2000, gymnasts will have to be at least 16 years old to compete in the Olympics.